What's going on, guys? So I figured I'd make this Happy New Year's to everyone and all that bullshit. Um, I can't really think of anything to talk about other than just kind of reflecting here and whatnot about like the new year and whatnot and all that shit. And I saw these two fucking crazy ass fucking videos, and I'm gonna link them in the description. And basically, what it made me think about was just, I mean, people, people. How crazy people are and the world we live in, and like we really do live in a world where people are just focused on getting likes and tweets and all that bullshit. Like I am 100% convinced that people develop relationships with other people in their own minds, and it just becomes this whole thing. It's like you don't even tell the other person involved in it because that might ruin the thing that you have going on in your mind and all that bullshit. And it's just crazy. It's so childish too. And it's like, what was it? Let me put it to you like this way. It's like there's this book that I read one time. It was called The Five Fingers. And in it, there's like, oh man, I can't even talk about it. It's so crazy. It's supposed to be based on a real story and like all this bullshit. Like, you can buy it now from Bantam Books or Barnum Books, but it costs like $70 to order it. And so all this shit. Actually, it was my dad's book, and this fucking stupid ass friend of mine's fucking I want to get basically stole it, asked to borrow it, never gave it back. Fucking asshole. But what was it in the book? This is like a Green Beret and some SAS soldiers and all this shit, and they're basically talking about how like there's like tough and there's like wannabe tough, and like basically what it is like they use there's this scene or analogy or whatever you want to call it where they're like at a bar, and like this one dude is like, hey, I'm a tough guy, I'm gonna get into a fight and I'm gonna like smash the drink, I'm gonna headbutt you, I'm gonna punch you in the face, I'm gonna stomp on you on the ground, and that's gonna be it. Then I'm gonna how tough I am, and then everyone's gonna think I'm tough, and I'm gonna get on my bike and I'm gonna drive away. And then they were like, there's another kind of tough. There's a kind of tough where like, in the person's fight, like after you do all that and you stomp on their face, they get back up and they pull out a knife or a gun or whatever and they fucking finish you off. And then they go, and all that bullshit. And basically what they were saying was like in wartime, what you have is a bunch of people who are trying to take it to a higher level of toughness and realness than the other before the other person can, and all that bullshit. And apparently in the book they get like dropped off in it was in the Vietnam War, and they get dropped off in like Laos or Thailand, and they walk through Vietnam into China and like assassinate some communist generals and whatnot, and then hightail out of there. And like even in the book, like the army tips off the signal and gives them up, and it's supposed to be some kind of like a war game to see what happens if they give their best troops the worst gear and have them go on a mission, who would survive and all that bullshit. Anyways, there's even one part in the book where the dude is like on a march, and he like stops to like take a shit, and he's like taking a shit in the woods, and like the Viet Cong like come in randomly and set up a camp all like, and he's just in some bush in the middle of the camp, and he's like, if I fucking move, they're gonna find me and all that bullshit. So he starts like doing like math problems in his head for fucking like 20 hours straight, and then the camp moves up and goes on. He like falls over and like massages his legs so he can get feeling back, and then like gets back to camp and shit. And it's like, guys, we're gonna get ambushed, just and all that bullshit. It's fucking crazy. So it's never confirmed or denied, but it's one of those books. But anyways, so what it is like people always basically get mad at me because they're always like, you always go there. And I'm like, no, it's not that I always go there. It's like I'm aware of a different level of existence of being there. And I know that because I've been in situations where I've seen or interacted with people who are on a much higher level than that. I can't even go into that on so many levels. Like, I guess the best way, and I can't even go into, like, I went into it before on some of the other channels that got taken down, but like one example would be when I saw like the door to the what was it? It was a nail salon, and they took me into the nail salon, and the fucking wall to the nail salon opened up. It was like some bitch was like on vacation or whatever, so her door. So I'm assuming every single one of them had a door that opened up. But like, anyways, they went to this one, and like the fucking door opened up to the nails, like the nail salon. Like you sit there to cut your hair, and the fucking chair, and I like the back of the hair and all that bullshit. Okay, thank you. Here's your money. Like one of those chairs. Like the wall opened up, and they went into like a police station and all that bullshit. And they're like fucking underground, fucking signal shit going on and all that crazy shit. But like, so like that, like that's one of the examples of what I mean when it's like, like that when they say like the NSA and all that bullshit has like every single text and phone call. Yeah, they do, and all that bullshit. That's a whole other story. But anyways, so what I'm trying to get into just now is I'm trying to compare and look at the world of, I'm a tweenie bopper and I'm taking Instagram selfies and whatnot because, whatever the fuck they do with their time nowadays versus some of that shit that I just watched. And what it is I saw two crazy ass cases. And what it was one was a woman married a dude basically because she just wanted to get married. And then she, 8 days into it, decided she didn't want to be married anymore. So she pushed him off a cliff. And then the crazy ass thing is this bitch would have got away with it too. She kept her fucking mouth shut. But she just got sick of interacting with people who were looking for him. So she was like, oh, look, I magically found where his body fell in the ravine. And I'm going to throw heat on it. And now everyone, I'm a suspect. And that bitch is in jail for life and all that bullshit. Another one. I think I saw this motherfucker on the news a bunch or as a meme. What it was there was some dude who like bought some escort in Florida and then he married her and then she tried to like get him killed and then she denied it the whole way. And like the funny thing is like those two kind of had it switched. If like this bitch would have just been like, yeah, whatever, I killed the motherfucker, she probably would have gotten a lighter sentence for showing remorse. And since this bitch didn't show any remorse, she got the fullest, harshest sentence. But the thing is, like, it got me thinking about like the two contrasts that we have in our society. On the one hand, you have these people who live entirely online and are so afraid of people that they will just stare at you in person and literally not know what to say. Or even, like, I'm telling you, like, by the way, like, for all of you who are wondering, that really wasn't Jordan Rachel sock puppet that I made. That was actually just a sock puppet. I mean, I know it looks very similar and whatnot, but, like, no. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all are retarded. Like, you have to get with it. Like, there's a real world, and this isn't it. You know what I'm saying? But contrasting all you fucking losers who fucking don't know how to, tie your shoelaces and interact with people and all that bullshit with the fucking crazy ass people who deal with so many people that they actually thought that they could get away with like hiring hitmen and like, I don't know, it's crazy. It's like we live in the culture we have is just so skewed. It's so fucked up. And all it really makes me think about is how, I mean, the majority of my life, people are always like, I didn't know you were there. I'm like, yeah, because I fucking keep to myself. I don't want to deal with you fucking crazy ass assholes. I see all the shit you all are doing, and I'm like, no thanks. I don't want to interact with that. I literally have gone before to places, and I just like, I even paid money to go to places, and I would just look at what everyone else does, and I was like, holy shit. It's like a zoo. It's like, look, people are like in some kind of a zoo. So I don't know what to say to that, but I will say that something tells me 2022 is going to be a crazier year than 2021. Yeah, so that's that. I'm going to link the videos in the description. Happy New Year, everyone. But, I mean, holy shit. This is why I tell you guys just to worry about your own shit. Oh, yeah, look. I really don't follow any of these douchey losers. I really don't. I don't pay attention to them. If you send me something about them, I will comment on it, and I will make this comment, all right? I do not think that, I did make a comment earlier how, and it was to keep getting across to you people, that you should focus on yourselves, because we're always like, even this crazy bitch who killed her husband by throwing him off the cliff, and the crazy bitch who tried to hire a hitman to kill her husband. What it was even with these other crazy fucking people, it's always people who are trying to avoid taking responsibility. And I can't remember who said it, but someone said something very, very smart one time. They said, if you want to be successful, you have to be the one to take responsibility. Even if it's not your problem, even if it's not your fault, you have to be the one to take responsibility. You solve it, you'll be successful. All right? The crazy bitch wanted a wedding, but didn't want to actually be married, and so she killed someone because she didn't want to take responsibility for her own actions. Crazy bitch fucking wanted a house, but fucking didn't want to be married and didn't want to be a prostitute anymore because she was 26 and that wasn't going to last much longer, let's be honest. So she tried to hire a hitman, and fucking that didn't work out either, you know? So she's fucking in jail now too. Fucking crazy shit, right? They don't want to take responsibility, right? What is it with these fucking crazy fucking influencers and all this bullshit? So this is the thing, right? I really don't think they intended to inspire or cause or whatever the fuck mass shootings, because now we have one female who inspired a mass shooting, and now we have one dude who inspired a mass shooting or is involved with or whatever. I don't give a shit, all right? Someone else told me. I don't particularly care, all right? What I was saying was, in my opinion, keep in mind, opinions are like assholes. Everyone has one and they all stink. In my opinion, the reason why they're associated with those people who actually did commit those heinous acts is because they were in such a rush to get internet clout that they didn't verify and check their sources. When you're in such a rush to be a friend to everyone, you'll be a friend to anyone, and you won't think to yourself, maybe this person is a motherfucking loon and I shouldn't interact with them. Maybe this person is so motherfucking crazy that by me growing my network by including them into it, it's actually going to do more damage than good. And you want to know why they didn't think about that shit? Because their managers didn't tell them to. Because they really don't give a fuck about them, and they really don't give a fuck about you. They give a fuck about money. And they got to grow the motherfucking numbers so they can get those fucking donations. That's all it is. Okay, it's a motherfucking game. So they will use you. They will use you as cannon fodder, and they will put you up with murderers and whatnot just so they can make some more money. That's the other thing. I mean, like, I don't like personally naming names and whatnot, but I did watch his video, Cliff High's video about the woo and all that shit that just came out. And the thing he's talking about, like, how secret societies and whatnot. At the same time, this motherfucker tweets people who are involved in secret societies, and for a fact, I know, murdered someone for their YouTube channel. So, I mean, yeah, they'll tell you shit, but take it with a grain of salt, is all I'm saying. You got to figure this shit out for yourself. And how are you going to do it? By taking personal responsibility for your life, for your finances, for your health, and all that shit. I mean, okay, I keep on telling, okay, so you can do a selfie. So what? I mean, I hate to say it, but this is why I keep on telling you guys. I mean, like, just like, Western world is probably going to get worse before it gets better, because even like my niece's generation, I think, is the ones that are going to turn this shit around, because they're the ones who have to live with all their parents being retarded, and they're going to grow up and be like, I don't want to be like them, right? Because I'm not trying to get into it, but I know what that's like. But like, it's just got to turn around soon. I mean, so you got a selfie. What else? Everyone's basically fucking useless. And they are, I mean, you watch these videos and these people, like, they don't understand anything beyond them being the center of attention. I don't know how to say it. I mean, if I can remember, I even posted the third one. The third one is actually my favorite. There's this one motherfucker who actually plays the system correctly. And what it is he actually was innocent. They let him go. And he goes, look, man, I've been through the system before. You all are not my friends. You are not going to help me. So if I'm going to be charged with anything, charging with it, throw me back in my cell, wham, bam, thank you for the Coke. Have a nice day. Because then they try to get you to talk. They give you, like, you know, soda and candy and whatnot. And the funniest thing is, as they're taking him back to the cell, he's like, motherfucker, where's that Butterfinger? And they're like, oh, we said we'd try to get you a Butterfinger, but, you know, you didn't help us. You know, you didn't confess to a crime you didn't do, so we didn't get you a Butterfinger. But the thing is, as fucked up as it might sound, like, yeah, it's fucked up when you treat innocent people that way. But when you see some of the shit these guilty people do, you kind of see why they treat them that way. I mean, these motherfuckers, I'm telling you, like, damn. And that's the other thing. It's like, how do you overlook that someone murdered someone for a YouTube channel because you want likes and views because you don't want to get a job after you went to one of the best schools in the world and it wasn't good enough for you? And it's not, that one's not a slam on anyone, because like, it's not just that one person. Lots of people do that shit because these social political elites who are just old money, they put their fucking friends and all that bullshit through these fucking fancy colleges. They fucking pay money to get them to graduate, just like fucking, Who's the Boss, Full House bitch did and got caught. And then they can't do shit, so they have them pimp them around and get your money for likes and tweets. That's what I'm saying. It's like, which way is worse? Like, do you want to be the zombie who gets, do you want to be the zombie who makes the Instagram photos, or do you want to be the zombie who pays for the Instagram photos, or do you want to be the zombie who, whatever. Anyways, Happy New Year's, guys. Peace the fuck out.